Level 1. The announcement. You're sitting in a classroom, second row from the back. Your teacher is explaining something about economics. Nobody is paying attention. Not really. One kid is scrolling under the desk. Another is asleep. Someone in front of you is drawing in a notebook. Then your phone vibrates. Once, twice, 3 times. You glance down. Unknown number. You ignore it. The phone rings again. Then again. Then again. Your teacher notices. The class notices. Everyone notices. You step into the hallway and answer. A voice introduces himself. A lawyer. Your lawyer. Except you've never hired a lawyer. He asks if you're somewhere private. You say no. He says you should find somewhere private. Immediately. 10 minutes later, you're sitting alone in an empty office. The lawyer explains that your grandfather passed away 6 months ago. You knew that part. What you didn't know is that he owned things. A lot of things. Companies, properties, investments, things hidden behind trusts and holding companies and paperwork you don't understand. Then he says, the number, $1.4 billion. You ask him to repeat it. He does. It sounds fake, both times. You are 18 years old. Yesterday, you were worried about paying for university. Today, you own more money than entire towns. You walk back into class. Nothing has changed. The teacher is still teaching. The students are still talking. The clock is still ticking. But the world feels different. Because now, you're carrying a secret heavier than anything you've ever carried before. And nobody knows. Not yet. Level 2. The family. The first people who find out are your parents. Your mother cries. Your father becomes quiet. Very quiet. The kind of quiet that means someone is thinking too much. The conversations start changing immediately, not intentionally, just naturally. The future used to be a question. Now it becomes a negotiation. University, business, travel, investments, taxes, trusts, lawyers. Everyone suddenly has opinions. Everyone suddenly has plans. Plans for your money. Plans for your future. Plans for your life. You notice something strange. Nobody asks what you want. Not at first, because the money is too loud. It enters every room before you do. Your uncle calls. Then your aunt. Then cousins you haven't spoken to in years. People don't ask for money. Not directly. They ask about opportunities, partnerships, ideas, dreams they've been meaning to pursue. The requests arrive disguised as conversations. You start learning something billionaires discover early. People treat money like ownership. The moment they know you have it, some of them begin calculating what part belongs to them. Level 3. The internet. Someone leaks the story. You never find out who. Maybe a lawyer, maybe a family member, maybe a friend. Doesn't matter. The result is the same. Your name starts appearing online. News articles, forums, videos, comment sections. Strangers discussing your life like it's a TV show. People debate whether you deserve it, whether you earned it, whether you should give it away, whether you're secretly evil, whether you're secretly brilliant. Thousands of opinions, millions of views. None of them know you. You read the comments anyway. Everyone does. A stranger calls you spoiled. Another calls you lucky. Another says your life is perfect. You stare at that comment for a long time. Perfect. The word feels strange. You haven't slept properly in weeks. You don't know who to trust. You haven't had a normal conversation in days. But according to the internet, your life is perfect. Level 4. The friends. Your best friend still texts you memes. At first, you appreciate it. The normality. The lack of agenda. Then things change. Slowly, almost invisibly. You start paying for dinner, then vacations, then concert tickets, then everything. Nobody asks. You just do it. Because you can. The problem is that once you pay for everything, nobody knows how to stop letting you. A strange distance appears, one that money creates. You try to pretend nothing changed. But everyone knows something changed. You arrive in different cars, live in different houses, worry about different problems. One night, your best friend says something, half joking, half serious. Must be nice. 3 words, that's all. But you hear something underneath them. A gap, a distance, a resentment neither of you know how to close. You realize friendship becomes complicated when one person can accidentally solve every financial problem in the room. Level 5. The toys. You buy the things you dreamed about. Everyone does. The cars, the watches, the houses, the clothes, the private jets, the penthouses, the experiences. For a while, it's incredible. You remember your first supercar, the smell, the sound, the feeling. 3 weeks later, it becomes a car. You buy another, then another. The excitement gets shorter. The price gets higher. Nobody tells you this about extreme wealth. The problem isn't that you can't buy happiness. The problem is that you can buy almost everything except happiness. And after a while, that becomes impossible to ignore. Level 6. The business class. The billion isn't sitting in cash, it's working. Companies, stocks, real estate, investments, entire teams manage your money. You start attending meetings, boardrooms, presentations, strategy sessions. People twice your age wait for your decisions. Executives with 30 years of experience ask for your approval. At first, it feels powerful, then terrifying. Because you realize something. Nobody actually knows what they're doing. Not completely. Not the CEOs, not the investors, not the billionaires. Everyone is making educated guesses with larger numbers. A decision you make in 10 minutes can affect thousands of employees, families, communities, livelihoods. The money stops feeling like freedom. It starts feeling like responsibility. Heavy responsibility. Level 7. The security. A billionaire isn't just rich. A billionaire is visible. The threats begin. Most aren't serious. Emails, messages, letters, people demanding money, people promising revenge, people claiming conspiracies. Then security advisors arrive. Professionals. They evaluate your life, your routines, your vulnerabilities. Suddenly there are cameras, guards, protocols, escape plans, safe rooms. You laugh at first. Then one advisor shows you something. A folder. Hundreds of pages. Information about you. Information collected by strangers. Your address. Your habits. Your schedule. Everything publicly available. You stop laughing. You realize privacy is something you used to have. Something money quietly took away. Level 8. The relationships. Dating becomes difficult. Not impossible. Difficult. Every introduction comes with questions. Do they like you? Or your life? Do they love you? Or the access? The opportunities? The lifestyle? You hate yourself for asking. But you ask anyway. Every time. Trust becomes expensive. Not financially, emotionally. The wealth creates uncertainty. Not because everyone is dishonest, because you'll never know for sure. And uncertainty can poison even good relationships. You meet someone amazing, funny, smart, kind. Everything feels genuine. Then one day they mention a company you own. A company you never discussed. A tiny comment. Harmless. Probably innocent, but something changes. A seed of doubt. Once planted, never fully leaves. Level 9. The isolation. You are 24 now, still incredibly wealthy, still incredibly young. You stand on the balcony of a penthouse overlooking a city. The view is breathtaking. Millions of lights, millions of people, millions of lives, and you've never felt more alone. Because money solved many problems. Housing, food, travel, comfort, security, it solved them completely. But human beings aren't designed to struggle only with those problems. Once survival disappears, other questions arrive. Questions money can't answer. Who are you? What matters? Why are you here? What are you building? Who genuinely cares about you? Who would stay if everything disappeared tomorrow? You spend years searching for answers. Level 10. The real billionaire. People think becoming a billionaire changes your life. They're wrong. Becoming a billionaire changes your questions. At 18, you thought money was the destination. Now you understand it was only transportation, a tool, an amplifier. Money makes good lives bigger, bad lives louder, confused lives more confusing. It doesn't replace purpose. It doesn't replace love. It doesn't replace meaning. Those things still have to be built. The hard way. One day, you're sitting alone in your office. The same lawyer who called you years ago is sitting across from you. The conversation is different now. No inheritance, no surprises, just business. He asks what you want to accomplish over the next decade. The question hangs in the room. For the first time in years, nobody is asking about your money. They're asking about you. And suddenly, you realize something. The $1 billion was never the story. You were. The money changed your surroundings, your opportunities, your risks, your relationships. But underneath all of it, you remained the same person sitting in that classroom, the same person staring at a phone, the same person trying to figure out what kind of life they wanted. The difference is that now you know something most people spend their entire lives wondering. Money is powerful, incredibly powerful, but it cannot tell you who to become. Somewhere right now, an 18-year-old is wishing to be rich. They're imagining the cars, the houses, the freedom, the respect, the life. They think $1 billion would answer every question. They don't know yet. $1 billion doesn't end the story. $1 billion begins a different one. And the hardest part isn't getting the money. The hardest part is deciding who you are after you get it.